That was the dog. I swear. Look how sweet he is. He is so precious.
He's just whining over there.
Yeah, so
Just whining.
I don't, can you still hear me now?
Yep, you're good. Boom, we're ready.
Well, welcome to another episode of Locals and Coffee, where we come straight to the professional to ask for reliable, valuable information from locals in Northeast Tennessee. So I've got Zach Jamison here with Northwestern Mutual this morning. Hey, Zach.
Hello. Good morning.
Yeah, you got to hear my dog this morning too.
I love it.
So tell us a little bit about you and what do you do at Northwestern?
Yeah, I'm a financial advisor at Northwestern. I've been there about 4 years now. My wife's an ICU nurse here in Johnson City. We live in Piney Flats. We got 2 dogs and a baby on the way in August. So there we go. That's me. There's my life story. There we go.
Oh, well, have you named the baby yet?
Not yet. No.
Oh, you got it.
And we just bought a new house about a month and a half ago, as you can see. Bought it from Kayla Janeway. Fantastic, amazing process that she put us through. So if anybody needs a house, get it from Kayla.
I'm so proud of you guys. It's so exciting to see you in your new house. So let's kind of dive into a few questions because right now people are just looking for some security financially. And what better person to get that from would be financial advisor, Northwestern Mutual. So kind of walk us through, a lot of people are being unemployed right now. Like what are some ways that people can implement some budget-friendly plans to their day-to-day lives?
Yeah, I think the first step is just start paying attention to the budget. So just kind of look at where money's going. If money's not coming in or there's been income change, figure out what the income change actually is on a weekly, bi-weekly, monthly basis, and then figure out what the bills are and just get a good idea. I think the biggest mistake I see people make on their financial planning or budgeting in general is just not really knowing. So I think the first step is just start paying attention to it a little bit better. And once you get an idea of what the budget is, you really don't have to budget every month once you really get a good idea of what's going on. So I think the first step would be just pay attention to it a little bit more. A couple things, if people are losing their jobs or income's being cut and they need to turn somewhere for some money at the time, a couple things that the government's doing for us to help out on that is you can actually take distributions from retirement accounts without penalty right now. That's a kind of last resort, worst case scenario option, but I think it's important to know that you have access to that just in case something comes up. 2, I think now's a really good time to start figuring out if you're a homeowner, if you have equity in your house, if you have access to a HELOC, getting in touch with the professionals in those realms. And I know, Kayla, you know a ton of people have questions on that you could get them in touch with. But I think those are 2 good options if it's coming down to it and you're not sitting on a bunch of cash from, before you lost your job, then those would be 2 places that you've got opportunity to turn to.
I think that's really great advice because there are 2 places that people just don't think about it. It's just day-to-day lives. You wake up in your house every single day, but you don't realize that you could, or you could do a lot of different things. I know I just grab my card and just start swiping for lunch.
Yeah.
It's been, we've been trying to budget and it's been fun. Of course, mine has been financial advisor with you, so
yeah.
For a while. So also with the budget tips, how are some really good ways to make sure that we budget with our kids' future in mind?
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, saving money, like where you put the money, what the rate of return is, things of those natures, those are important conversations. But what's most important is if you're just getting something put away somewhere that you're not touching it. Because the biggest mistake people make is just getting into this paycheck to paycheck, may not be the best way to describe it, but just trying to cash flow every decision. So as big decisions come up and we want to go to Disney World, or we need to buy our kids a car, or we need to put them in the new daycare that costs $200, $300 a week, whatever it is, people are turning to their cash flow, their monthly or weekly cash flow to try to make these decisions. Whereas if you've done a good job just saving money and putting it to the sidelines, you don't really feel stressed about those decisions because you can go pull it from a balance in an account instead of having to worry about how to add one more thing to your monthly budget. So that would be my biggest advice, is save money, put it somewhere and keep it saved, because that'll relieve some stress when expenses start coming around, and they're definitely coming. So I know we're having our baby in August, and it's already expensive, and it's not getting better. It's probably going to get a little more. So
Yeah. I mean, just saving that money for something now, we have no idea what will happen in the future. Like
yeah,
the baby or pandemic, it's just great.
absolutely.
So, like, I know that there's a lot of information. Everybody's got an opinion about their finances, how they should handle it.
Yeah.
Why would they come to a financial advisor like yourself?
Yeah, I think financial planning is a lot like the medical field. And my wife and I were actually at the doctor a couple weeks ago, and we were getting ultrasounds done for the baby. And the doctor had said, "Hey, don't Google this. I'm giving you all the information you need. If you start Googling it, you're going to find a bunch of scary articles that tell you that you have a big reason to be concerned, and you don't. So just don't be Googling." Financial planning is the same way. So having an advisor is really, really important, because if you just go to Google and start trying to figure out how to accumulate wealth or how to save money or how to most efficiently plan with your dollars, you're going to find 5 articles that tell you one thing's a great idea, and the other 5 articles will say it's a horrible idea, and then you end up just not doing anything. So I think having somebody that you trust, has your best interest in mind, cares about you, and making sure that the things that you want to see come to fruition for your family happen, that's the biggest role a financial advisor can play. And one of the biggest misconceptions that I hear from our clients when we first meet with them is that coming into the conversation, they thought the only thing we were going to talk about is retirement planning and putting money somewhere that we can't touch it until we're 60, right? Retirement's important, but I think the biggest value of having a financial advisor, even outside of retirement planning, is how can we get money saved places that we have access to it, so that when these things start coming up in life, we want to go to Disney World with the family, or we want to go book a cruise or whatever it is, how do we have a plan in place so that when we want to do those things, we're not worried or stressed or anything like that. So
Yeah.
just relieving financial stress is the biggest reason to have an advisor. Having somebody in your corner you can get advice and ideas from.
Yeah, there's a lot of security and boundaries.
Sure.
Boundaries around budget, boundaries around where you put your money to. I totally get it. So, like, what kind of questions do people need to ask their future financial advisors? Or maybe people are exploring the opportunity and they don't even know where to start.
Yeah, most of the time when we're meeting with somebody for the first time, it's one of 2 scenarios. One, they've never met with an advisor and they're like, "Hey, I don't know what to be asking you, so I don't have questions." Or 2, it's somebody who's already had a couple advisors and we're coming in and having a conversation after they've already had experiences. So I think it's important to have questions prepared for the advisor too, so you can get an idea of what they do, because financial advisors, a lot of them do different things and have different specialties. So a couple of questions that I would ask a financial advisor if you're meeting with them is if they have a fiduciary responsibility. All that means is, are they contractually obligated to do what's in your best interest? Some are, some are not. That's pretty important for obvious reasons. I think that someone's obligated to do what's best for you. 2, I think.
Thing for fiduciary relationships. That's a huge word for us too.
Yeah. It's like, "Hey, do you have to do what's in my best interest?" No. Like, okay, well.
I'm glad I knew this ahead of time.
Yeah. 2, I think a good question to ask is the advisor captive to one company and their tools, or can they go out and get any tool for their client that they have access to with multiple companies? So I think that's a great question, just knowing whether your advisor can go out, even if it's not with one company, if they can go branch out and get you what you need from a financial planning perspective. Third thing would be, what licenses and credentials do they hold? I think that one's really important. What insurance licenses do they have? What insurances do they utilize or sell for their clients? What investment licenses do they have? What other designations do they have? Just a great question. And then the fourth question would be, what is that advisor's ideal client? Like, what are the average clients that they're spending time with? And I think that'll give you a good idea of whether that advisor is equipped to solve the problems that you're going to have financially if they're working with a lot of people that have similar problems to you financially.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's 4 questions I would ask.
Those are really helpful questions too. I never thought about it that way, to where trying to figure out if your financial advisor is going to be working with you with the same problems that they're facing every single day. Like, that's extremely helpful.
Sure. I think it's just like there's so many commonalities between financial planning and the medical field. It's like, you want to go see a physician who is constantly solving those same symptoms and cases. So he's very familiar with the things that you're bringing to the table, and he's seen this 100 times, right? So it's not the first time he's ever seen it, and he's trying to prescribe medicines for something he's never even seen before. So it's very similar.
That's really great info. So another really big concern, I would say, for a lot of people out there is the stock market. And I know you guys get calls, questions about it every single day.
Yeah.
So what is the current state of the stock market?
Yeah, so if you look at the stock market now compared to the beginning of February, it's down, I'd say call it 20% or so. It's down pretty substantially. In my opinion, it's not a bad thing. It's a great opportunity. I think anybody, financial planning 101 would tell us when the stock market's down, it's a great time to invest money, right? I heard a quote the other day that stocks, for some reason, are the only thing that scares people to buy when it's on sale. Everybody else loves a good sale on everything, but their stocks. So I think now's a great time to invest money. When it comes to investing money, especially when it comes to a financial advisor, I think it's really important, if there's a general advice to give, it's make sure that if you're starting to invest now, or you're just dumping more money into what you're already doing with investments, my encouragement would be to make sure you've got a well-diversified portfolio. You're not just hand selecting a couple companies. And the other tip would be to make sure you're dollar cost averaging, which all that means is, instead of you taking 10 grand and dumping it in at once and just kind of seeing how it rides and then not putting any more money in, consistently fund the account over time. So say take that 10,000 you're planning on putting in, divide it by 6, and do it over a 6-month period, so that as the market's moving, you're catching some of the swings as well, instead of just putting it all in at once. Mm-hmm. Those are just a couple easy tips.
Those are pretty easy to do. So would you say that we're in a recession right now?
A recession, by definition, would be 2 or more quarters of a downturn in the stock market. So, I mean, we're just coming up on, call it 2 months, not even a quarter yet. So I wouldn't say we're there yet. It's absolutely possible that the market does continue to stay down or drop more. I think timing the market is something that is not necessarily a thing that I'm trying to do. We don't necessarily know where the bottom's going to be. It may have already happened. It may go lower. We just don't know. But we know it's a good time to buy in, and it's a good time to start investing.
Yeah, I would agree with that too. I think that pretty much covers up the rest of the questions that I had. Is there anything else that you wanted to add to it?
I don't think so. I think that if I was going to describe, pretty simply put, the value of a financial advisor, I like to use an analogy of a personal trainer. I think there's common misconceptions that you either, one, have to have everything put together, you have to already be like financially all put together before you can get a financial advisor. But the fact of the matter is, kind of like a personal trainer is the analogy I'm using, not everybody hires a personal trainer for the same reason, right? Some people are trying to get bigger. Some people are trying to get smaller. Some people are trying to get faster. Some people are just trying to get healthier internally. The personal trainer's job is just to understand what that person's trying to achieve and help them get there, kind of take their agenda off the table and help that person get what's important to them. We do the same thing with money. So if it's not retirement that's top of mind, it's more so emergency savings or college planning for kids, or just getting some money in the stock market in general. Find somebody that you trust, find an advisor, doesn't matter what phase you're at in life, find somebody you trust and just let them give you some ideas and thoughts. So especially if it's not a fee-based financial planning relationship where they're going to charge you just for the conversation, my thought is it's absolutely worth a second opinion and some ideas to see if there's some way somebody can help you, regardless if that's me or anybody. Find somebody you trust and let them give you some advice.
Yeah. It's
That'd be the only thing I'd add. Yeah, sure.
the last question I've got for you.
Yep.
I'm asking everybody that comes on here, what
Yep.
is a hobby that you've started since you've been quarantined?
Hobby I've started since I've been quarantined.
Started or have been really excited to just pick up?
I have been playing a lot of golf. I'm still quarantined. I'm social distancing while I play golf. I'm riding in a separate cart from the people I'm playing with, not touching the flag sticks, not sharing clubs, not getting close. So we're social distancing on the golf course.
All the salons are shut down, but all the are still open.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, hopefully all of this will be over soon. But like, just to wrap up everything, it sounds like there is some uncertainty, but having financial advisors
Sure.
provide some financial security during these unknown times that are just crazy.
Yeah, I think it depends on how you look at it. And this is definitely a lot of uncertainty and a lot of confusion, but it can be a great opportunity. So just make sure people are prepared to take advantage and come out of this on top.
All right. Well, thanks so much, Zach.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for my house.
Oh, I love seeing it in the background. It looks so good right there.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see the baby room.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Well, thanks for having me. It was fun.
It was great. And we'll talk soon.
All righty, Kayla.
See ya.
See ya.